So we're going to be talking about shadow plotting. So as a reference, of course, the simplest way to know about shadow plotting is first, let's try it out with something as simple as a cube in perspective. So I'm drawing the edges of this particular cube and we want to render it. So rendering is another layer Q for three-dimensionality that you use to illustrate something that's three-dimensional. So of course this cube does not exist in reality. It only has foreshortening, meaning what's closer is drawn bigger, like this edge is taller than this vertical edge here, than this vertical edge here at the rear. So it's foreshortened. Now if I render this, let's say I have a light source somewhere here, far away, and I'm going to render this, the shadow casting of this, in the picture plane, perpendicular to the picture plane. What happens here is this edge, this vertical edge, has a shadow casting somewhere here, because at a certain angle of the sun, or a light source, or a distant light, it's going roughly like here, this direction. So this is a ray of the sun, it's going that way. And we are going to consider the shadow casting of this. We imagine this as a stick with a shadow casting on the ground. It's going to be something like this, that angle. So this angle of the sun is roughly 60 degrees going here. So we have something like an angle there somewhere. Let's say that's 60 degrees. So I can color code the vertical edge here as blue. And we have other elements that are vertical, and I'm going to draw the same triangle trajectory of that same direction. So these are parallel lines, similar to the first one. This is also 60 degrees. So the violet line that you see here is perpendicular to the horizon line. The edge on the rear side, which we cannot see, I will illustrate in hidden line. And the bottom edge of that is going through like this. So I'm going to illustrate, of course, the casting for that vertical edge. And I am going to illustrate where the light direction is going to be. So basically we have this sort of thing that's going on. But if we're going to cast the shadow edge of, say, the top edge here, it's going to be this line, which is going through perspective, following the vanishing point. And let's say this is going through X, the vanishing point X, and this is Y, vanishing point Y. So if we plot this edge casting going down, it's going to start from here, because this is where it starts here. You can see that it's going to align with that shadow direction. So we could call these as your shadow direction. That's perpendicular to the horizon line. And then when we can call this as your light direction. And of course, we have the light source or the point. So the light source is not specifically a point somewhere, but it is the same because we're following a same angle, which is 60 degrees, which is that. So the light point, for example, for this one is going to be here. If we shade the shadow for this, it would be the shadow volume is going to be here. That would be the casting of the shadow of this cube. So this is just the basic type of shadow casting for an object, as simple as a cube.